Hello, Infinite Nerds. If you're a fan of the Flash universe, I'm sure you found yourself wondering, who is Savitar? How did he come to be? And what's the deal with these time remnants that keep haunting our hero? The answers to these questions go far beyond what meets the eye. Savitar, this seemingly unstoppable villain, holds a secret so powerful that, once we uncover it, it changes how we see him and the Flash himself. Today I'm sharing a perspective you might not have considered, a view that reveals how the timeline can warp in unimaginable ways, creating alternate realities and deep hidden secrets. What if I told you that Savitar's origin is tied to a temporal mistake that reshapes everything we think we know? Savitar isn't just another villain. He's a direct product of the paradoxes of time travel, a complex figure that challenges even the Flash in ways you wouldn't expect. Today we're diving deeper than ever before. I'm about to unravel how he connects to the Speedster universe, the role of Time Remnants, and his ties to the multiverse, where everything takes on a new dimension. If you're a fan of theories and want to truly understand what makes him so fascinating, stick with me until the end. This video will clarify, challenge, and leave you with new questions about the Flash universe. When we talk about time remnants, we're not just dealing with a concept of time travel. Time remnants are something more. They're versions of the same character emerging from alternate timelines. In other words, they're beings created by the very act of time traveling, a kind of copy of the person who ventured through the different possibilities of the timeline. But unlike mere duplicates, these remnants carry the essence and memories of the original, making them incredibly dangerous and unpredictable. Have you ever wondered what could happen when two versions of the same person coexist, or even worse, when one decides to take a dark path? That's exactly what makes Savitar a unique figure among the Flash's villains. He's not just a fast and strong opponent. Savitar is a time remnant of Barry Allen himself, a being born from a different timeline where things took a different turn. And the most intriguing part is that he retains all of Barry's memories, all the pain, fears, and traumas that the Flash has carried over the years. It's almost like a distorted mirror, reflecting what Barry could have become if he'd chosen a darker path. So, did you already know that Savitar was a temporal remnant of Barry himself? Let me know in the comments. But there's something even more fascinating. Time remnants don't follow conventional rules. They're created in moments of desperation, of need, when the hero seeks a solution to save the day, or even his own life. However, these remnants also bear the weight of being disposable, of knowing that the original can abandon them at any time. This feeling of disposability often drives them to make radical decisions, to seek a purpose of their own. And in Savitar's case, this search for purpose turned him into a relentless enemy. So, who is the villain here? Savitar, or the very concept of creating time remnants? When we talk about time remnants, we're diving into one of the most intriguing, paradoxical concepts in the Flash's universe. But what exactly are these remnants? They're alternate versions of a character, created through specific events involving time travel. They're almost like copies of someone who chooses to alter the course of history. These remnants are born with the memories and experiences of the original, but with one crucial difference. They exist in a state that defies the natural laws of the timeline. This makes them unpredictable, and in many cases, a threat to the hero himself. So, did you ever imagine that these temporal duplicates could become such powerful villains? Enter Savitar. More than just an ordinary villain, Savitar is a time remnant of Barry Allen himself, born in a moment of extreme need and desperation. He's not merely a shadow or a memory. He's an alternate version of Barry, shaped by trauma and dark decisions. While the Flash we know fights for good, Savitar is the version where despair and suffering took the reins. He carries the heavy truth of being disposable, a character who knows he could be erased at any moment by his creator. This gives Savitar's journey depth and purpose, transforming him into an enemy as threatening as he is tragic. So, what do you think? Is it possible to understand a villain's origin through so much pain? Time remnants represent something far greater in the Flash's universe. They're like reflections of choices that should never exist, a way to materialize impossible consequences. In Savitar's case, he embodies the worst that Flash could ever become. He's not just a physical threat, but a constant reminder of the dangers of manipulating time and the alternate realities born from wrong decisions. These elements create a deep conflict between the hero and his reflection, making this battle intensely personal. So now that you know, do you see Savitar a little differently? Share your thoughts in the comments. When we think of Savitar, we remember the powerful speedster who challenged the Flash, but the bond between them goes beyond physical confrontation. It's rooted in an existential question about identity and purpose. Yes, Savitar is a time remnant, but he refuses to settle for being just a shadow of Barry Allen. Instead, he seeks his own identity, a place in the universe that accepts him as more than a mere mistake or unwanted consequence. This makes him a far more complex antagonist, fighting not only against Flash, but against the very reality that rejects him. Ever stopped to wonder what could drive someone to rebel against their creator? Savitar's origin traces back to a specific moment in Barry's life, when the timeline was twisted and distorted, creating this alternate version. Savitar holds Flash's memories and powers, but his perspective couldn't be more different. He considers himself the god of speed, not just because he's fast, but because he sees himself as an entity on a mission. He's the embodiment of all of Flash's doubts and fears, everything Barry tried to suppress to become the hero we know. And that's what makes Savitar such a fascinating villain. He challenges Barry on every level, not just with speed, but with the very essence of who Barry Allen truly is. So, have you ever thought that a villain could be such a profound reflection of the hero? This connection between Flash and Savitar also taps into the idea of the multiverse. Savitar represents a dark possibility within the vast spectrum of alternate realities. He's a reminder that not every self is a hero, and that time can create unthinkable consequences. Savitar fights to exist in a universe that wasn't made for him, but his presence forces Flash to confront his own choices and the dangers of tampering with time. This doesn't just create a dilemma for Barry, but also for us, the viewers, as we're pushed to question the line between hero and villain. After all, what defines a version of ourselves as good or evil? It's a question that every remnant raises, and one that Savitar challenges us to consider. Now we reach the most revealing point about Savitar, his role within the multiverse and what he represents for Flash's future. This isn't just about a fight between hero and villain, but a clash of alternate versions between what Barry could be and what he chooses to be. Savitar isn't just any villain. He's a version trying to seize control of destiny. By declaring himself the god of speed, Savitar wants to prove that Barry Allen's fate is beyond the hero's control. This adds a far deeper layer to the story, where we're not just dealing with a battle of strengths, but with a war of ideologies. So, have you ever wondered what would happen if Flash lost control of his timeline? Savitar's role in the multiverse is a constant reminder of the consequences of manipulating time. He's a version born from a mistake, yet he chooses to embrace his existence, even though it goes against the natural order of things. In fighting Flash, Savitar is trying to establish himself as someone with a purpose, someone who refuses to be erased. This makes him a villain unlike any other, because while most seek to destroy the Flash, Savitar seeks a form of personal redemption, a confirmation that he deserves to exist just as much as any other version of Barry. And that makes their clash all the more intense, as each strike is an affirmation of who they are. Did you ever imagine a villain could have such a deep backstory? But ultimately, Savitar's existence also brings up an essential question for Flash himself. Does he truly understand the consequences of his choices? Savitar shows Barry the impact of playing with the timeline, of creating realities and offshoots beyond his control. This confrontation between them is more than a battle. It's an invitation to reflect on the risks of altering reality to fit one's desires. For us, the viewers, this conflict also raises the question: how far is it justifiable to change the past in an attempt to fix the present? Savitar, in his search for recognition, ends up becoming the perfect villain to test Flash's limits and challenge us to reflect on the choices we make. Now that we understand Savitar's role and his origin as a time remnant, it's time to dive into the ultimate reveal: his impact on the multiverse. Savitar isn't just a threat to the Flash. He embodies what can go wrong when we alter the timeline. He reflects on the mistakes Barry made in trying to set things right, to save those he loves, and in defying the natural laws of time. This is Savitar's real danger. He's not just a dark version of the hero, but living proof that tampering with time always has a cost. And this places enormous weight on Barry's decisions, because now he isn't just facing a villain, he's confronting a living consequence of his own choices. Is it truly possible to correct the past without creating new threats? Savitar shows us that the multiverse is vast and unpredictable, and that every action has a reaction. By becoming a god of speed, he's trying to transcend his status as a remnant, imposing his fate in a universe that rejects him. It's a powerful idea because it suggests that even the multiverse has its own set of rules, and that some realities were never meant to exist. Yet, at the same time, Savitar challenges this destiny by fighting for his right to exist, proving that even a remnant can have a life of its own, with desires and ambitions. This makes him a much deeper villain, someone who forces Flash to see the multiverse not just as a collection of worlds, but as a complex web of possibilities and errors. Have you ever thought about what would happen if all these versions of Flash came face to face? Finally, Savitar reminds us that Flash will always be torn between his desire to save the world and the risk of destroying it by trying to change it. The conflict between Barry and Savitar isn't just a race, it's a battle over control of destiny and the right to exist. Every time Flash tries to fix the past, he risks creating a new villain, a new mistake. And Savitar, as one of these mistakes, is the most tragic of all, for he bears the weight of Barry's choices and the reflection of the hero's consequences. By challenging the thin line between hero and villain, Savitar forces not only Barry, but all of us to question the price of our decisions. So now that you know all this, do you think Flash should stop trying to save the past? And we reach a critical point. Can Savitar truly be seen as the ultimate villain? At his core, Savitar is more than just a villain. He's a warning, a reminder of the immutable consequences of tampering with time. His existence is a paradox, a being that shouldn't exist but who fights with everything he has to affirm his identity. He shows us that, when it comes to the multiverse and alternate realities, time is far more volatile and unpredictable than we imagine. Savitar is, therefore, the result of a buildup of temporal mistakes, and his purpose is to challenge both the natural order and Flash's own morality. Can Barry face such a distorted version of himself? When Savitar calls himself the god of speed, he's making a statement that goes beyond power. He's claiming meaning. He sees time and the multiverse as a canvas where he can finally leave his mark. Savitar pushes us to reflect on the nature of existence and what it means to have a purpose. After all, he's a character fighting against his annihilation, someone who refuses to be just a temporary glitch. This conflict makes him one of the most personal threats Flash has ever faced because it's not just a physical battle, it's a struggle over who deserves to remain in the timeline. What do you think? Is Savitar's fate truly inevitable? And while Savitar challenges Barry on every level, he leaves a lasting impression on the entire universe. He's a constant reminder that the power to alter reality carries a high cost, that every choice has a reaction, and that time cannot be tampered with lightly. By facing Savitar, Flash confronts a part of himself that he must, somehow, overcome to protect the multiverse. This conflict forces us to consider the hero's role and what defines a good choice. In the end, Savitar leaves us with a profound question. Should Flash at some point simply accept time as it is? That's a question each of us has to answer. As we approach the conclusion of this deep dive into Savitar's story, it's essential to understand the lasting impact he's had on Flash's universe. Savitar isn't just a memory of past mistakes. He's a constant reminder that time is unpredictable and dangerous. He embodies everything that can go wrong when we try to alter fate, and his legacy continues to influence Barry and everyone around him. It's as if his presence serves as a warning to all speedsters, a mark that reminds them of the risks in challenging the very fabric of time. This makes him far more than just another villain. Savitar is a cornerstone for understanding the most complex and intriguing parts of Flash's universe. Do you see Savitar as a turning point in Flash's journey too? The battle between Flash and Savitar wasn't merely a clash of powers, but a struggle of beliefs and ideals. While Barry believes in the power to change things for the better, Savitar embodies a more fatalistic view, the notion that some things are simply inevitable. This conflict reminds us that the multiverse is a place of endless possibilities, but also endless consequences. Every time Flash races to fix the past, he creates a new wave of possibilities, each with its potential for disaster. And that's why Savitar is so important. He shows us that a hero's power can be a double-edged sword. Should Flash keep trying to save the past, knowing the risks? In the end, Savitar is the villain who truly challenges Barry's beliefs. He embodies the fine line between hero and villain, a line that every speedster must face on their journey. Savitar's existence teaches us that in Flash's universe, every choice has an impact, every mistake breeds a consequence, and every attempt to alter time can lead to unpredictable results. Savitar leaves a clear lesson. Time cannot be controlled without a price, and sometimes the real act of heroism is accepting things as they are. This is a message that resonates not only with Flash, but with all of us, as we face the consequences of our own choices. And after all this, how do you see Savitar's role in Flash's story? Let us know in the comments. We're excited to hear your thoughts. Savitar is more than just a powerful villain. He embodies the risks and consequences that the Flash faces when he challenges time itself. Throughout this video, we've delved into the complexities of Savitar as a time remnant, his impact on the multiverse, and what he truly represents for Barry Allen. He's a dark reflection of the choices and uncertainties that arise whenever the past is altered. Savitar shows that in a universe with infinite possibilities, every attempt to fix a mistake opens doors to new challenges, making him one of Flash's most profound and unforgettable foes. And it raises a question for us: just how much of a blessing is a hero's power? If you've made it this far, I hope you enjoyed this analysis and that it inspired you to see Savitar in a new light. His story teaches us that time is unpredictable and that our choices will always have repercussions. Perhaps deep down, Savitar's real lesson is that we can't always control everything and that some mistakes are, in fact, irreversible. So, what was the most surprising part for you? Share your thoughts and your own theories about Flash and the multiverse in the comments. And, of course, Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll dive even deeper into the Flash universe to uncover hidden secrets waiting to be explored.